Welcome to my show. I'm a guest here. His name is Shayne Kawalilak. Mr. Shine, how are you doing, sir?
Fantastic. How are you doing this morning?
I'm
Actually,
fine,
this
thank you.
afternoon where you are.
Exactly when the afternoon, correct. I'm fine, thank you very much, Mr. Shine. And thanks so much for the time and the opportunity, Mr. Shine. And firstly, you are an author. You are also a speaker, and you teach people how they can try their best to protect their information online. Can you please, Mr. Shane, discuss more about yourself and how you are doing currently now, Mr. Shane?
Right now, I am a professional geek, so I work with computers and technology all week long. And then I get out in companies and I teach about cybersecurity. So I'm out telling people how to be safer online. And for the most part, companies pay me to do that so that their employees take better care of the company data.
Definitely needed in our time currently, where there are a lot of manipulation and loophole that one can use to get a lot of resources from industry and companies is very important. And also that was why I would like to drive to your book, Mr. Shane. Don't be the weakest link. Can you please, Mr. Shane, discuss more on that book? And do you have more books you are planning to write in the coming future, Mr. Shane?
I never actually planned to write that book. It's just I was doing a conference, and a business owner at the conference, after I was done my session, pulled me aside and we were talking, and he asked if I had a book about everything I was talking about, and I said, "No, I don't." And he said, "That's a shame because I'd like to buy one for all my employees." Now, I don't know how many employees the guy had, but here's a guy that wants to share the information he just heard me say with other people that I was never going to get in front of. So that was basically the birth of it. I needed to find a way to get the information I was saying to people who were never going to be able to sit in front of me and listen to me say it. And I looked out in the world. There's not a lot of books out there.
Yeah.
They're all written for geeks like me. And I was looking for something for my wife, something for my mother. One of them hates technology and one of them just sucks at it. And there was nothing out there for them. They were left in the wilderness. There was, even there's a book, Cybersecurity for Dummies. It's not for dummies. It's very technical. And I wanted to do something that was not technical. It didn't use geekanese. I just wanted plain simple English that my wife would understand. And
That's
as
it.
for more books, no, I I don't plan. Nonfiction is hard to write. I
Mm.
mean, even though I've been doing this for over 25 years, it was it was exhausting because of the topic, I think mostly. The technology was changing every week. I'd finish a chapter and I'd be halfway into another chapter. I'd have to go back and revamp the other chapter, trying to get the links and trying to get the website up so that all the information that's in the book was also on the website and keep it current. It's a lot of work. It still is a lot of work. So yeah, no more nonfiction in my future. For now, I mean, who knows what changes, right?
Completely agree. And also, that's the beauty of what you've brought on board. Something that is not too difficult and not too complex for people to understand. Because to be honest, cybersecurity is something that is very, very tough to understand. I've also tried my best one time to try my because I'm in school, I'm a computer science student. So I try my best to check when it comes to cybersecurity and stuff like that. You won't have to go through a lot of steps, the basics, networking, computing, and other features when it comes to the computer as well, but simplifying things and making people understand better that these are the necessary things we need to understand when we are online. I think that is very beautiful and something that is really different out there. And that is so impressive in its own way. And that is why I would like to dive to a point whereby a lot of people have that belief that when it gets to a point of cybersecurity, it feels overwhelming. People feel like I have to go through networking. It goes through a lot of steps. It's not something one can just start tomorrow. It takes a lot of steps, a lot of training, a lot of diagnosis, a lot of virtual and stuff like that one has to practice. And how do you think listeners can just try their best to improve their knowledge rank without feeling lost in this tech bundle, Mr. Shane?
Well, Now you're bringing up the weakest link scale that we invented for this book to explain how me and the co-author, how different we are. And so the knowledge rank, is basically a scale of A to F, just like in school. You don't want to be an F. And the easiest way to get to an A, honestly, the easiest way I've ever seen is to read the book. it's it's simply, it covers so many different areas of your life. And like I said, we talked earlier, that 4.5 years of my effort is free for your audience. There's digital copy. You're going to put a link somewhere in the notes or whatever. And I just recommend everybody read the book. And if they want to keep going, there's more books at the end of the book to keep getting more technical if you're interested in that stuff. But I don't know of an easier way. Check out the website. You can go to don'tbetheweakestlink.com, and virtually everything that's in the book is on that website in one form or another. Just click through and see see how easy it is to learn. Educate yourself and definitely help get that knowledge rank back up close to an A, because they're out there for you.
And I also agree with you because it's really tough. I have to be honest with you, and that shows that it shows a lot of a person who has the experience and expertise. It shows that kind of person to know how he or she is going to bring it down to our level so that we can better understand it better. And that is why I always recommend when someone to understand things better, we can have conversation which lasts for a little minute, but to understand better, then getting through the book and also getting through the website to understand better and learn more is very, very essential if one are interested in the area when it comes to protecting themselves online. And also, I would like to dive to the point of phishing scams and other areas that people actually use their best to sabotage people online. I've gotten to the point of position whereby I got on my mail and I clicked on the link and they said, "This is Facebook, enter your password." And the next thing, when I wrote my password, the next thing I see was that someone is trying to log into your account. The only thing that made me notice that something is wrong was the location. I knew that that location was not my location. And that is the issue that we're having at time. A lot of people who have fall into this trap. And that is why I would like to get to the point of phishing scams are getting more sophisticated in our time today. What do you think are some of the few warning signs that you think anyone, even someone in this tech area, can spot right away that this thing is not looking real, Mr. Shane?
That's a great question, and that's something that I think is one of the most important parts of cybersecurity, is recognizing those red flags. And for my speaking business, I did not want to tell people go to ShayneKawalilak.com, because people can't spell my first name right. They're never going to get the last name right. So my domain for my speaking, everything actually gets redirected from redflagit.com, because I think the red flags are perhaps the most important part of cybersecurity. And if you go to the book's website, don'tbetheweakeslink.com, there's some cut sheets. You click on cut sheets, and in there's a cut sheet just for red flags. And when you're seeing that email, there's things to look for, capital letters. If it's all capitalized on internet talk, that means someone's yelling at you. And do you read emails where people yell at you all the time? I hope not. So if your email has, weird times, or if it talks about urgency, oh, you need to respond to this right now. Unless that's what you usually get in your regular business life, is emails that say, hey, this is right now, I need this done, then is it really that urgent? Check your senders and recipients. This is a hard one, because people can spoof emails. They can basically reply to an email that you never sent and make it look like someone sent that email or something. The subject line. I mean, if your job is, you're, let's say you're a technical writer for a company, or you're a receptionist, or you're the CEO. If you're getting an email that's directed for accounting, why are you getting it? Oh, this bill's overdue, urgent, final notice. It's probably not an email for you. It should have gone to the accounting department. So that should raise a red flag if you don't get those accounting emails all the time. Anything with a link or an attachment, like you said, click this link to log into your Facebook. If if you get an email that something has to be done on your office account, or you have to open up a DocuSign document, go to that website and log in and look. Don't click on links. If you get a link or an attachment in an email, I I tell people when I'm in the training, yeah, you can send an email to that person, but pick up the phone. If it's someone in your office, walk across the hallway, say hi to that person and say, "Hey, did you send me this email?" And if the guy says, "Oh, yeah, that's for this project," probably safe to open it. If they look at you with deer in headlights look and like, "What email?"
Hmm.
You probably shouldn't click on that link or open that attachment. There's a, and this is the red flag of grammar and spelling. I don't understand this with spell check, with all the tools that are out there, with AI now. I don't understand how these scammers, they send emails with horrible English, or I remember clicking a link years ago at one of the companies that I was at. This girl called and said, "This email looks suspicious." Well, she'd opened up this web page and it said she had to log on for this government document. We're in Canada. We have two official languages, English and French. The website was our government. It looked like a very formal government website, but it was half English, half German. Who who made this website? There's no one speaking German in Canada. It was crazy. And I'm like, but
Wow.
she didn't speak French. She honestly looked at it and thought it looked legit because it was bilingual. And I'm like, that's not French. And she goes, "How do you know?" "Because it's German. How do you not see this as German?" But she was close to clicking on it. But she had a few red flags, so she called me to look at it first. I was happy she did. So, yeah, learn the red flags. That'll change your life.
Hmm. That shows that no matter, most especially in our meals, we have to be very, very observant. Anything that shows urgent or anything that says you need to log in to correct something, we need to get the double reconfirmation. And that is why I love the technology that we have, the two octave authentication code, stuff like that, that they've brought up to also help us protect ourselves better. These are things that we can also use to protect ourselves online, because we do not know the link, we do not know what is around, we do not know who is monitoring the business, we do not know who is monitoring us as even humans. We do not know who is monitoring what we are doing and how they are looking for ways they can sabotage and get into our skin. We have to try our best to give the second authentication, try our best to confirm, try our best to anything urgent. We have to be sure that this thing is actually authentic. And also, I do know that we a lot of people are parents, and we do want to check on our kids as well. Our kids are the one coming in the coming future. We believe we have to agree that our kids are more smarter. I think they have this more genius style and stuff like that than we, the elder them. But we would also want to get to the point whereby parents and for teachers. So for parents and for teachers that could be listening currently, how do you think we can teach kids and also students the basics of online safety in a way that it is very simple and it is also engaging, Mr. Shane?
Wow. I hate these podcasts where the guest always says, "What a great question." But man, that's a great question. Okay. I'm a father of 9 kids. So,
Wow.
understanding how important it is, and I homeschool them. So I'm kind of a teacher. I can't imagine this advice being more important. So if I could give any advice, I'd say, hey, still read my book, but go look for other people that specialize in this area. In my book, at the back of my book, I actually talk about a few people who you should be looking at. And I actually point out, if you're dealing with youth, if you're looking at all the stuff that goes online, cyberbullying and stuff, there are experts out there. And I have a page on a guy named Paul Davis, and he's out from Eastern Canada. And I think every parent should follow that guy, read his stuff. If you don't have a Facebook account, get on his email list, read newsletters, read anything that guy writes, and follow people in that field. I'm very general. I want to cover everybody who has issues with technology, but dealing with kids, I think you've got to get in there, and you've got to be more in tune with people who do that just for a living. And Paul Davis is the best I've seen so far. So
Yes, because we have to also check on our kids and their safety online. And as you said, Paul David, that is also in this field that is expert. Because no matter how we are, we have to get someone that is expert in that field. When we follow them, we see what their newsletter or see what they bring out. They give us the educators. They show us that these are right and these are wrong. And we also learn from one or two things and how we can protect ourselves and also our kids as well when it comes to online and also things that we do in the internet. Also, I would like to dive to a point whereby we have a point whereby we are more observant. We are trying our best to secure a lot of things and be more careful. But how will we know? Because I would like to know that, okay, I would like to know that I've gotten to a point whereby I've actually improved my online security to a point whereby there are signs or you understand. How do you know that? How could someone know if they have actually improved it, their security, and are they signs or benchmark to look for if they've gotten to a point whereby they feel like I have improved my security? I don't think anything is probably wrong in any way, Mr. Shane.
wow, twice in a row. That's insightful. Most people just want to know, this is the book I have to read. They read the book. But after you've gained that knowledge, how do you look back and say, have I improved? Did I actually move forward? And probably the best thing I did in that book is every chapter has a play along section at the end, and you can see the whole play along sections on the website too. So even if you don't want to read the free book or buy a paperback or something, go to the website and look at those play along sections. And each chapter has one at the end where you follow through the things you learned, and the tools and the tips and the little tasks that I give you for homework. See how many times your email's been compromised, how many times your passwords have been exposed to the internet. These are little things that I think everybody should do. And when you've gone through the whole book and you get done, I think I think it'll be really easy to look back, I hope, and say, hey, this is where I was, and now I've moved over here. I've definitely increased my knowledge rank. I've changed how I think about my response rank, and I'm definitely higher up on the weakest link scale now.
Yes, and that's the beauty of what we learn. When we are learning something, we have to be in a position whereby we know we are improving. We've taken some precautions. We've built a lot of things, as you said, in what you do and every your book and your site where they can go to and see how they could protect themselves, how they could learn one or two things, and how they can also try their best to build the sense of sensitivity in things that they see online or any emails that they see on their message, any message that comes around. When they realize, they will know that actually I've gotten to a point whereby I have improved. I've gotten to a point whereby before I do this, but now I've been more observant. I know how things are because most of the time, if we are aware, we are always one step ahead. It's only when we are not aware that's when things like this happens. And when we are aware, that shows that we have now improved and we are now stronger. And that does not mean we should not continue to learn. We should continue to learn. We should continue to see people and also get updates from other people because how we are also getting the solution. That is how those people too are getting more upgrading to get something more better to penetrate. So those are things that are very, very necessary. And also, I would like to back to your book. Don't beat the weakest link. If the listener can just try their best to take just one action step from your book and today's conversation that we've had today regarding cybersecurity and how we can protect ourselves online, what do you think it will be, Mr. Shane?
I'll tell you, and this is going to sound horrible, but read the book and then read it again. I think the second time you read through the book, you'll see that you'll catch new things, and you'll understand how important the password is. You'll understand how important the password is, then read a chapter where I talk about don't use passwords anymore. So it's I think it's important just to keep filling yourself with knowledge. Just keep reading about this stuff, watching, videos online, following podcasts like this. I love these podcasts. I was going through some of your other shows, and the depth and range of your guests here, very impressive. I it's it's just a new education every week of something that I didn't know. So I like having those variety of experts. A lot of my podcasts are really tunnel vision focused on one topic so that I can learn as much as I can about that. But I have a few, you know, I try to get as much Joe Rogan as I can in, and I love some of your guests are they're really good at what they do. Definitely better than me. So as long as I'm learning, I'm moving forward.
Thank you so much for the confidence. And also, thank you so much for the good one. And also, that is why we also have people like you to improve the life and also, help people better because we do know that there are a lot of things happening out there. And through education and through improving ourselves and listening to podcasts like mine, are the ways we can learn from this thing and be aware so that we can be one step ahead of every triumphs and ups and downs that we find in our life. And that is why we have to try our best to continue to learn, continue to build yourself. It is not going to be easy, like the book you've written and also website, just other things. We just learn in one way or the other. When we continue to learn, we see new things, we see new discoveries. We can use that to become more better. It doesn't take time. It can be 10 minutes, it could be 20, it could be 30 minutes for us to just learn one or two things so that we can protect ourselves online. We've created this thing, and there are also ways one can sabotage it, and that is why we have to protect ourselves online. Also, Mr. Shane, there is a question I normally ask during the end of the show. From our forefathers, from our ancestors, there are a lot of beautiful things that do exist during our ancestral time that is missing in our time today. If there is anyone or anything you would like to bring back to our time today, Mr. Shane, what do you think that thing will be, Mr. Shane?
One of my biggest problems, and it's been a really rough week for the world, and I would like to see. I mean, I'm not from 1,000 years ago, so I don't know that this was there, but I would like to see ethics come back. I feel we've lost a lot of. People's morality is just different now, and morality is how you see ethics. It's what you think is right or wrong. So you living where you live, being raised how you were raised, you have different morality than I. You have different values and a set of beliefs that you live by. That doesn't make either of us bad. It makes us different, which I don't mind celebrating that difference. But ethics shouldn't be that subjective. Is it bad to kill someone? Yes. Is it bad to steal from someone? Yes. These shouldn't be ethical discussions or debates. So if I was going to bring something back from a long time ago, I'd like to go back to a time when ethics wasn't debated. It was just there, and everybody's moral compass was guided from the same set of ethics.
Completely true. We have a lot of things happening now that people are like, it shouldn't be done this way, things like this. But this is just how it has been since centuries, even before the time Jesus Christ has come on earth. It has been like that. So some people just come to the world and they be like, they want to just say something and just try to sabotage it. I think the truth is the truth. What we want to say, what the world is and how things are meant to be, is just meant to be that way. And that is just how the person who has created this world, which is God, has done it. And we shouldn't look for a way to sabotage or make some kind of wars or create one in one way or the other. I think those are the things that we're missing. Ethic is one thing. We are in a position whereby most of the time things that are not even meant to be debated, things that are not even meant to be argued about, are being argued about. And that is the kind of weight that we are feeling today. Things that on a normal ground, when we ask even a child will say, yes, this is how it's supposed to be. You understand? But even now, people are even getting debating about it. We need to know the truth. We need to just stand on the truth. We do know it's not easy sometimes. When we hear the truth, it's tough. It's really tough. But we have to just continue, start to digest it, see how we can heal ourselves and become more better. Because if we do not heal, that is when we start to have all this kind of situation that having argument on something that is meant to be done in the right way. I also want to use from the bottom of my heart, Mr. Shane, thank you for the time and the opportunity, and also your book, because we need books and also things like this in our time today. Because there are a lot of things happening out there. Even the way we are speaking currently now, things are happening, and these are the things that will help people protect themselves online. We're in a open world, and we have to look for ways we can try our best to protect ourselves, so that we can live a life more fulfilled. We won't live a life whereby we cry and we are not prepared for the worst that is coming. Thank you so much, Mr. Shane.
Thank you very much, Tammy. It was a wonderful day, and I love sharing with you and your audience, man.
All right. Have a wonderful day, Mr. Shane. Bye bye.
See you later.